Hello ladies and gentlemen to the Capability Advisor web assessment tool. A new year, a new release, a new look. Today we're gonna break down version 9.3.0, see what has changed. Let's jump right into it. And so for the new look that I mentioned, we have kind of integrated this look and feel of the landing page throughout the tool and done some improvements to the UI in general. I just wanted to mention this here as I was navigating to my assessment to show you the first feature. All right, so the first feature, something that a lot of people have requested, a dedicated evidence taker role. So this is something that we've added. It's rather easy to access in the evidence tab on the right on the top. There's this invite evidence taker button, and if you click it, a little pop-up notification shows copied link to your clipboard. So it's already kind of copied. You can, for demo purposes, I have opened here in Firefox this link. I've put it in here, and you can see this is the exact same list of evidences that I have in the project, but I do not have any navigation. So I cannot go anywhere but this evidence tab. But I have access to all the functions that an assessor would have inside this evidence tab. I can import, I can export, and I can add a new evidence, which we will do so shortly. Taker 1, let's go project management, BP1, add new evidence. And as you can see, instantly updated Taker 1, my evidence. It's there. And so I, as an assessor with access to all of it, of the tool, I can focus on interviewing, taking notes, noting down findings and rating. And so, yeah, I think this will make a lot of people very happy and definitely will make life easier going forward. Surprise, I'm on the other side now. I just realized during recording this part that I was hiding over there. I was hiding the content that I wanted to show you behind myself. So I moved myself to the right. Okay, so this part, the autocomplete is something, again, a lot of people requested, using a short abbreviation or even a word to have the tool expand to a more refined version of itself, even a sentence, a full-blown block of text, something like that. And let me show you, this is in the settings tab on the right, on top. Just this little gear icon, and you scroll down. It's on the very bottom, and I have defined two shorthands. I call them any, which will translate to this visit iscn.com/capadv, and PA to process attribute, and I will define YouTube. Thanks for watching. So basically, the text does not have to have anything to do with the shorthand and vice versa. It can be anything. And as I go to let's say month 3, this is kind of my go-to process all the time, and I will just scroll down BP10 because I know I have nothing here. So our 3 shorthands that we have defined are any, PA, and YouTube. So let's use any first. And as you can see, as soon as the browser detects the full word any at my current cursor location, it says, okay, there's a text. It starts with visit, but it's very long, so I have kind of omitted that. And if you press tab, it shows you the tab button. If you click that on your keyboard, it will just boom, replace it with the full text. Let's do that again. PA tab process attribute, same. YouTube, boom, thanks for watching. This is, by the way, not the end of the video. And before I forget, I have logged into the content provider for a second here. The type that your node setting or the node mapping should have is text, and you can import it and export it via the content provider in this mapping menu. Again, new look. The menu is not on the left, and there are some general things on the top, but the menu in general is on the left. You can import the mapping or export the mapping, and it's very straightforward. You can insert a new mapping. The context in this case would be notes, and you select your file and you're done. We're again in the settings tab, top right, and we are looking at mappings. This is something, again, a lot of people have requested to be able to use on the base practice level notes that you have taken in another base practice, be it the same process or a different one. So this is our take. The note mapping setting, you can basically have infinite different mappings uploadable via the content provider in this format. So I have, this is the one that I've preloaded here. From MAN 3 BP1 to sub 1 BP1 and vice versa. So it's one directional. And again, same for BP2 and only one direction for BP3. This is what I've used. And as I go here, I can show you again, I mentioned a new look. This is, the mapped nodes are on this little panel on the right. There's other nodes as well. There is the information, so the output information items, etc. And then there's your evidences in this panel here. So I will open my mapped nodes, and this is what I get. I added itypo in my notes, and I can click this. Again, by clicking, you get it to the clipboard, and you can add it here. For BP2, it's the same. I have the BP2 node of sub 1. That's available in MAN 3 BP2, and I can click it and go here. And again for BP3. And I can show you this for sub 1. It goes the other direction as well. So I have MAN 3 BP1, I have available here. I have MAN 3 BP2 available here. And I should not have anything available. No map nodes found, yes. So BP3 is not available for sub 1 BP3 as per my uploaded mapping. I hope this is something that a lot of people will use going forward, and there will be an exchange of I'm using this mapping, and maybe you can suggest things that the preloaded mapping that we will provide does not have. Looking forward to a kind of community building and exchange in this matter. Okay, next up, search and replace. This is a new tab on the right. This is the little magnifying glass here on the top. So here on the top right, there's a magnifying glass, and you can see already there's another new tab here. So let's go here first. The search and replace. This is we've added with this autocomplete and the node mappings that I've already shown you. We've added a few ways to reuse nodes. The problem here is when you're reusing nodes and maybe you're very quick and a lot of stuff is happening during the assessment, you're reusing nodes, but they have a typo in them, or you have a place rule holder, something like that. So you have, okay, document number will be added later, and you can just add something for you to know, okay, I have not had the document number at that point. And with the search functionality, that's really cool. I can search for anything in my notes and it will show me. Let me show you this. I had in this previous example for the node mappings, I had this typo added just so I can show you this. And so it highlights, okay, in MAN 3 BP2, BP1, sub 1 BP3, BP2, BP1, I have this ntos typo, and this is all fine and dandy. I can of course use this searching function to find any node, not the ones with typos, but anything. And I can again click this to copy it to my clipboard and then go back to the rating tab. It just allows me to more quickly find nodes that I might not know exactly in which BP maybe I've added them, something like that. And so this is fine. This is very valid to use this to copy nodes. But also, if you click this button on the left, you get a second bar, a replace. And so it starts, the highlighting kind of changes. That instead of ntos, it's strike the true, replace that with notes. And you can see, okay, before I had ntos, now I have notes. And I can either replace selected, so I can click some of them, maybe not all of them. I will just, let me see, just MAN 3 BP1 and BP2, and we will replace the selected ones. And it says, okay, replace these occurrences. And if we go back, this is not updated yet. So as you can see, okay, now I have notes here and I have notes here. This is perfect. So I can go back and research this, notes, search again. And so I have still these these typos. I can also search not case sensitive, and maybe I find more notes there. I can see, okay, sub 1 BP4, I have those with a capital N, and I can replace all with this new notes, lowercase notes, replace all. And now my typos that I've of course added for this demo are all fixed. Next up, for those that paid attention, there's another tab on the top right, the chat tab. So it's a chat bubble. Maybe demoing this here alone is a little, as you can see, hi, who is here as well? No reaction, no one. So yeah, it is your basic chat. Yeah, I'm just playing. I have a second window here. I have a co-assessor account on Firefox, and I'm here on Chrome. So you can basically chat back and forth. This also works while you're in the rating tab. For example, let me show you this pop-up. If you're here, you will get a small, okay, YouTube co-assessor has said pop-up, for example. The message will be visible. And you get these little pop-up notifications, and if the text is not too long, it will show you a preview of what they typed. And so you kind of can rate, and you can see, okay, there's something is going on in the chat. I can check here, and there's also this little red outline, the chip, that says, okay, the new messages, 2 new messages, and then it's removed. It works like a chat. It will behave like a chat, and you can also, of course, use the pop-out function to have it in some corner of your maybe 2-monitor setup. This was, again, very community requested for assessors to be able to chat in parallel to a Teams meeting, for example, where the project is also present. Next up, a feature that is very dear to me, the Power User Terminal. It sounds very amazing. So people have brought up the idea of using key bindings, keyboard shortcuts, stuff like that, to more quickly navigate. The problem that I have personally with key bindings or keyboard shortcuts is that it usually takes a lot of time to properly learn them, remember them, and if you're not using the tool too often, you kind of lose your muscle memory. And so what I've come up with is there's only one key binding. It's Control P. It opens up this little box, the Power User Terminal, and then in this you can type a command. There's a set of predefined commands. You can type help, enter, and it will show you the list of commands that are available. You can either click on them, or you can tab, and it will go through them. If you press Shift Tab, of course, it goes up, and if you press Tab, it goes down, and it shows you what it does and an example of how you could use it for you to play around with, for example. And so this way, it's more language driven. You can press Control P, type your command, press Enter, and it does it. For example, let me close this. I can open this, type EV, and it changes to my evidence tab. I can press Control P, type S, and it goes to the search tab. I can go to sub 1, for example. I have sub 1 open, so let's go with month 3. And if I type month 3, the tool assumes you meant level 1. Yes. I can, of course, go to month 3, 2. And it navigates to level 2. Stuff like that. I think, personally, this is way easier to remember. It's not that much slower. Because of course you don't have to remember stuff, and this way we can build more complex things, because a key binding by definition does not have parameters. So I can go to the evidence tab or to the search tab, but I can, for example, instead of EV, I can do EV added in PUT, the Power User Terminal, description. And if I type this, nothing happens seemingly. But if I go to the evidence tab, I touched my mouse, sorry, EV. It says added input, so added in Power User Terminal, and a description. So while you were typing in your rating tab, you pressed this, EV, title, enter, and if you go to the evidences, it will show up eventually. Yes, there we go, title. So this is a way of you being able to navigate and do things that are not part of the current view without having to remember key bindings, without having to touch your mouse. This is a joke that I made a while back while demoing this. This is a feature for people that are afraid of their mouse. So yeah, your computer mouse. If you don't want to touch your mouse, this is kind of a way to navigate through an assessment without having to. Okay, smaller feature, but important nevertheless. In the export view, you have now for Word, you have the quick results. This is kind of in parallel to the PDF export. You can choose either the attributes levels or the little detailed rating matrices, and you can mix and match them. This is for sharing your findings or sharing the results quickly, maybe during the assessment, stuff like that. And as I open this here, it's nothing fancy. Like the name suggests, it's just quick results, the level achievements chart, the attribute set reflection chart, and the rating matrices. You can export them in Word, convert them to PDF, stuff like that, and send them over. Yeah, straightforward, nothing too fancy, just important to show you. If you have a rules violation, there's two options you have. You can either change your ratings, or you can provide a justification of why this violation in particular is fine. Before, the workflow was kind of, you had to put it in your findings, which is yeah, and then you could check the coverage checkbox to hide it. So if I click here, I would have hidden this rule. Now if I click here, it gives me a box to put my justification in. So this is justified because I said so, and if I kind of click out of the box, it says, okay, I have found that you have put in a justification, so this is now covered. You can hide it using the slider up top, and this is also fine. Now it automatically hides it because once you're done typing, it says, okay, this is covered. This is part kind of one of this whole thing. And if you click export here, you can go to your export, and in the Word file that will open up in a second, any second now, there we go. There's a new placeholder called coverage report, and it kind of prints this table with the rules text, the practices and their respective rating, and your certification. So it's all in one place. It's not mixed into your findings. Way cleaner, I think, way easier to workflow to go through your consistency violations. So yeah, looking forward to your feedback. Another community inspired feature, something a lot of people have mentioned, inside the consolidation tab, you were able to edit the report assessor notes and ratings, which is fine. The consolidation view is supposed to be this view. Everyone opens it up during the consolidation sessions, and you can kind of mix and match, add and merge notes for the report assessor, which then are used to generate the Word report. However, sometimes people were like, okay, we don't have a report assessor. Maybe I want to add my personal findings or change my personal findings depending on the consolidation session. And they had to change back to the rating tab, back and forth. You can now do this inside the consolidation tab. This was nothing to really think about. It made sense for you to be able to edit your own findings inside this view. So you can add something here. Press save. You can even change your maybe not N, maybe go F because we're positive here. So yeah, this works kind of like the report assessor. It basically works the same. You click your findings, or yeah, and it opens it up. You can edit and hit save, and it saves it. Very straightforward. The summary functionality has seen a small rework or refinement. So now you can see the calculated process attribute value is displayed as well. And I have two functions or small buttons that I have access to. The first one is the populate button. If I click this, it takes all the practice weaknesses and copies them to the summary. It's kind of to jumpstart my summary creation. And the second one is the consolidation button, which shows your co-assessors summaries. So you can kind of look and copy paste some stuff from them to your summary to aid you in your final consolidated summary. And now for a change of pace, I have logged into the organization view. The last few functions I want to highlight are here. So if I click edit export, the view is basically the same. However, we have this more option on the right now, like next to each assessment. If I click it, I can edit as before. I can also click the name to edit. I can export to get a CAAF file. I can hit the version. And this is something you can create the versions, but you cannot use them yet. This is something that we're still working on how to use these versions. If you have a suggestion, comment down below. We will read these suggestions in like 2-3 months time when we're starting working on the next version of Capability Advisor. And maybe your suggestion is something that helps us like fine tune something that we're working on. And then the schedule function, this is the thing that I wanted to show you here. If you click schedule, maybe not this assessment, maybe this one, because I have the safety assessment I have scheduled before, it opens up this wizard. And you can see all the processes that need to be assessed. And you can say, okay, how many minutes. You can click and drag the processes to swap the order. And you have more options. You have start of workday, end of workday, consolidation duration, etc. This is your setup wizard. And if you hit update, I will just use the standard default values. It generates your schedule. So it says, okay, month 3 on the first day of the assessment. So if you use the period field in the assessment setup, and then it uses these days here. And okay, so we are fine. Sometimes if you have a lot of sessions, then it says, okay, depending on what you input, the feedback preparation time or the whatever, it's outside of the period you defined, and then maybe you have to adjust your parameters. You can also change a single entry here. So you can go here, and if I hit this, because there's an overlap, it marks it yes, yellow, and then you can go maybe start this break 5 minutes later, and so this is fine again. So this is kind of a rough schedule that you can create. You can export it to PDF to send to everyone, or you can even export it to an iCal format to import. There's even 3 options. You can create a full day event, so it's just assessment name, and then it's from the 11th to the 15th. You can create this full day event plus the detailed schedule. So there will be an event for every entry. So there will be a break event. No, the break events are not. There will be an event for month 3, an event for sub 1, etc., etc. Or you can only generate the detailed schedule, which is just these month 3, sub 1, consolidation, etc. There will be calendar events where you can import it into your Outlook, Thunderbird, etc. So I hope this is something that people are starting to use. You can now kind of plan your interview sessions within the tool and then send it to everyone via this iCal or PDF format. Another small feature that we have added to the organization user is an assessment inspector. This only works, disclaimer, this only works for read-only assessments, so the closed assessments. You cannot look at assessments that are currently conducted. So you set it to read-only. I have set the standard assessment to read-only, and then you have this inspect option. As you can see, there's no inspect option here and no inspect option here. I can click inspect, and now I get a new window in which I have 3 options. I can export data, I can do the assessment export, I can look at the calculation tab, excuse me, and I can look at the consolidation tab. So I can basically read all the findings, I can look at the ratings, and kind of get a feel for the assessment this way. If you want to look into a currently running assessment, you will have to still go add an assessor to the assessment, etc. So this is only for read-only assessments, a small little quality of life feature for organization users. And last but definitely not least, a security feature added to Capability Advisor. You can now use 2-factor authentication to kind of harden your accounts. This is disabled by default, so old users will not suddenly get a prompt for 2-factor authentication. but can be set throughout the tool, or you can enable it for certain users. All you have to do is click the disable OTP button and hit update. And so if I want to log in as Tobias, for which I have the username and password, it tells me, okay, I have a QR code, please scan it with your favorite two-factor authentication app, which I will open up here. It kind of works for every open source two-factor authentication app. You can use Windows Authenticator, I think there's a Google Authenticator, you can use anything. And only this time, and I will pair this with this device, and I have a code here, 773148, and I click verify, and now I'm logged in. Straightforward. It's what you are used to. I can log out, and once this is paired, once this exchange has happened, it will not ask you to scan the QR code again. However, it will just tell you, okay, 340362, and I click verify, and I'm logged in again. Very straightforward. Improves the security by a lot for those that are hosting on the internet and for our cloud, for example. So very much needed feature for the Capability Advisor, now available in 9.3. And I have changed sites again. So this is version 9.3, as you can see down below on the right, which is why my camera is now on the other side. If you click this, it leads you to these patch notes. You can see an overview of what has changed. You can click this little PDF icon to have a detailed written breakdown of what has changed. Also, this YouTube video that you are currently watching is linked there as well. If you have any suggestions for the next version of current features, of new features you want to add, please leave them down below in the YouTube video. We will look at this in like 2 to 3 months time to gather like tickets or use cases for the next release. So for 9.4 or even 9.3 point something, if you leave down suggestions, we will definitely look at them and maybe incorporate them into the next version. So far, I hope you have liked this video. I hope you have fun and fun. Why not have fun working in the tool? Fun and success working with Capability Advisor, and see you in the next one. There's also the option of getting the PDF. If you click on this version up, this is again, I have to move myself over here, and you can click this to get the edit option, the export options, to generator. Coffee time. Coffee time.